What's that podcast? I'm supposed to be listening to your podcast. I've got it. What's it?
How About Wow?
How About Wow?
Yeah.
Because we did Love of the Star today, but there's several like on this show. If like I say, we do the Love of the Star, and then you've got your podcast as well.
Yeah, I put it up on Spotify. I'm just getting into the podcast thing.
That's a good way to, it's a great platform. To be.
I thought so too. Yeah. I was surprised. I put 4 clips up, and the YouTube thing's growing on How About Wow, but on the podcast thing, it's like donut. I'm like, do I have to do something?
What's going on?
Am I not pushing a button?
No.
I mean, there's a lot
around though.
Yeah.
People find it and all that. That's what they do with these podcasts. They find them.
Yeah.
With your time,
and I appreciate those that have already.
Yeah.
And we're having good conversation.
I'm subscribed, man. I smashed the YouTube subscribe. How about Wow?
How about Wow?
Thank you.
All right. Okay. It's driving me nuts not to be at these practices, right?
Of course. Yeah, you're getting a little fidgety over there. A bit ornery. I'm concerned about how the next couple hours could go.
I'll go for you next week during the Ranger game, though, buddy. I got your back.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
I'll send you my notes.
You send me my notes?
Yeah.
What bothers me is, but I've got some really good notes. I'll tell you a good follow on this, by the way, for clips and stuff, is Nick Harris.
He's killing it.
He's doing a really nice job of kind of getting in there and giving you not only pictures but observations and stuff. But I want to give some credit to Bobby Belt, because Bobby shared his notes from today, and then I kind of followed up with some people on the notes that he sent me. Bobby's first note to me today was that Lamb was at practice, but helmet off and not participating. So are we already into the veteran days here with the practices?
Maybe something's nagging.
I didn't get the vibe that was the case. So because I asked about Malik Hooker, who led practice, and I got the report that there was nothing wrong with him serious. And Bobby said he didn't see him when they moved inside, so didn't get a really the people I was asking was there was something wrong with him kind of thing. But Malik Hooker did lead practice with Jim Maurer today. And then Mike Smith and Elijah Clark rotated at safety with Wanye Thomas. So with Hooker being out, Mike Smith, Elijah Clark. We talked about this morning on Love of the Star. Give it a listen after our show today, if you would, please. That Elijah. I asked somebody in the organization. I said, "Hey, fair to say that Elijah Clark from Syracuse, 5th, 6th round grade on your board?" This guy said, absolutely. So that was one of the first guys that they went after. That's what I talked about.
So we got a UDFA safety candidate?
We do.
They paid a lot of money.
They paid a lot of money. They paid a lot of money with the signing bonus. So my assumption was this is probably a 5th or 6th round type of player on their board. So you look at what you're drafting, and then now you go out and you spend money on players that you don't get to draft, but here they made 5th round grade on their board. It's like they get an extra 5th round pick. We'll see if this guy works out. They have a pretty good history of these undrafted free agent guys making teams and stuff.
Did you guys look at him?
I did.
Oh, post. Yeah. After they went and signed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had not pre.
Did you have some thoughts about him as a player?
I mean, I thought he could have ended up being like a 5th round dude. Yeah. Personally, he was better than some of the other safeties that I looked at.
What's his strengths?
I mean, I think he's got a good blend of coverage, but I think he's a good tackler. Yeah. I liked his tackling ability. He's a sure tackler.
Yeah, the thing that I liked, he's not the biggest. He's not like a 195 or 200-pound guy. He's more like a 186, 187. I felt like, though, that he covered pretty well.
Yeah,
when he would
I thought he was a really good. I mean, you have these, like Malik Hooker's a good cover guy, and he can be solid as a run supporting safety.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of guys that I don't think are good in coverage necessarily. Like Donovan Wilson, that's not his strength. Ball goes over his head, you're holding your breath.
Right.
Elijah Clark might be, other than Malik Hooker, their best cover safety.
Yeah, I kind of felt like with Elijah that his ability to turn and to run was really
the way
good.
He flips his hips, it's pretty smooth.
Very, very, very smooth with the way that he plays. I was super, super impressed by his ability. Like I said, I felt like that the tackling, the coming up and playing down in the box, and then also though his ability to turn and run, I thought was really, really.
That's
good.
why I was stunned listening yesterday when you got pushed back on the Donovan Wilson conversation, and I get Donovan Wilson's hurt. But when you can save $7 million, and it's nothing against Donovan Wilson, but you've got other safeties on your team that can provide essentially what Donovan Wilson's getting.
Mm-hmm.
And big picture, when you're looking at a team that's always pressed and talking about the salary cap, you've got to save money where you can.
Yeah.
And that might be one that just says is a blinking light, in my opinion.
I don't think he's a great fit for Eberflus's system, but something Matt wants so much is the takeaways. And I just
he does do that sometimes.
Donovan's going to give you those.
Yeah.
It's too much to pay for just that with bad coverage and questionable, discipline and all that. But
here's something that's been interesting that Bobby pointed out. He goes, Miles Sanders just moves so much better than Williams. Way more juice. A lot of bounce in his legs is what he's saying with that.
Yeah. I mean, and that doesn't surprise me considering Javonte Williams couldn't bounce back from that injury. But there are some highlight runs with Javonte that looks good from just last year with Denver, right? So I don't want to rule anybody out, but I'm not surprised that Miles Sanders looks better. Even when Javonte had that big year, like the yards over expectation weren't there. He was still just average in that big rookie year, but he was getting the ball a lot.
Yep. I'm maybe I'm dead, wrong about Miles Sanders. I hope I am. I hope I'm wrong about all these backs. I saw this as being a question.
Mm-hmm.
Coming, maybe Miles Sanders could actually give you something, out of this.
I don't think we're gonna have to wait long for Blue.
Yeah, no,
Blue's going to be in the mix 100%.
But Blue and Sanders, if that thing works out, I mean, good for him.
That would be awesome.
Maffa, I'm trying to. I didn't.
Maybe some Williams on 3rd and long, 3rd and 8,
catch the ball,
get the pass pro guy in there.
Exactly. All right, no Andrew Booth today. McQuamu and Elam rotating in the base with Bland is what we saw today with Bobby. Said Joe Milton had some great throws, but stared down a receiver and team and got picked off by Damone Clark.
How about
Damone Clark showing up today?
Yeah, I think we got the full Joe Milton experience today because I saw back-to-back tweets. It was Clarence Hill saying Damone Clark pick 6 off Milton, and then 2 minutes later, the next tweet, Milton also threw a bomb to Jalen Brooks.
Okay.
Everybody loves Damone Clark, but I think he's going to need it to stay on this team.
Yeah,
Brian.
he doesn't have a lot of instinct. That's a problem. And, hey, Goody got an interception, I mean, we've seen a couple of these linebackers, step up. Buddy Johnson last week, interception, or a couple weeks ago, maybe. But maybe some of these linebackers, we mentioned our kid from James from Florida.
Yep.
Maybe not a lot of instincts, had an interception. So maybe some guys are kind of coming around on that. He also said this play of the day was a ridiculous Pickens catch in 7-on-7, twisting and falling out of the end zone. He high-pointed the ball and then managed to drag his toes. That's what you're going to get.
That's exciting.
That's what you expect.
Woo, let's go.
That's hot.
And then he said Pickens beat Elam in a deep team period, but Dak's throw was a little short. Elam managed to get a hand on it.
Elam, every OTA that the people have been out there for, he's getting PBUs. He just stack up good days, man.
He is getting a lot of those PBUs, and I kind of feel like that and you always say this, if they had to play the game tomorrow. But do you think he's kind of your opening day starter right now?
Absolutely. I think he will be the opening day starter on the outside.
Yeah.
Him and Ravel with Bland instead.
If Ravel's good to go. I don't know that Ravel's playing week 1.
Yeah, the thing was I've heard things with Ravel, like more than willing, has done everything they've asked him to do. You might see this guy in training camp. It's kind of
that'd be exciting.
Kind of the thing.
I'd love it, man. If he can start the season right away, that'd be awesome.
Okay, here's a couple more. This is coming. I'm swinging on the Nick Harris. Nick sent me his notes from this
4 p.m. Nick Harris is going to join us tomorrow, by the way.
Okay. He said we talked about CeeDee Lamb. We talked about Pickens. Jalen Tolbert had an impressive TD grab in the red zone work. He said Prescott fired one to the back of the end zone that Tolbert went over the top of the defender to haul in. Up and down day for Prescott. He was 8 for 14. He's tracking these things now. Had his best efficiency work in the red zone. So
we'll take it.
8 for 14 there. We talked about the Joe Milton experience. 44-yard bomb to Jalen Brooks down the right sidelines on the free play, beautifully placed ball. He did also a pick 6. We mentioned that. He was 7 for 9. Will Greer 2 for 2 in the opportunities he got. Jalen Blue got a good amount of burn with the second team today. So it must have been that Williams and Sanders were your primary running backs today with the first team.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I'm willing to be patient with Blue, and I think it's important to make him earn it and focus. Like the turnover aspect of the game is partial your physical skills, but also the focus on that. And I would want to keep that carrot out for him well into the regular season to make sure he's totally locked. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking this dude has to be our majority of the carries guy by the time we get to the end of the year.
Gotcha. Israel Mukuamu got some burn at the outside corner. He's been playing a lot of the slot, so they worked him on the outside today. Miles Sanders was another guy he was talking about. It says looks super fresh. Jamar James and Andrew Booth were with the rehab group today, so no James. Hope that's not something that the rookie linebacker there.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do next week in the full mini camp. Is that a better corner configuration with Izzy in the slot to you with Bland and maybe Ravel or Elam on the outside?
I kind of always want to play Bland on the inside myself.
I love him as a slot player. I think he's the best on the team. No, Bland.
Yeah,
now the next up for me might be Izzy, but that's only just we haven't seen the other guys do it.
That's like in case break glass kind of a thing of an emergency.
Well,
thing.
I mean, he's done it for parts of 2 games, right? And it was pretty good. Is that what I saw?
That Tampa Bay playoff game. He was. I mean, Dan Quinn. They were out of options. They were losing people left and right. And next thing you know, here's Izzy McQuarrie at that size. The way he was able to move in short areas was crazy impressive.
Be the biggest nickel corner of all time, I would imagine, at 6'4".
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of leggy a little bit, though. That's always
super long.
Yeah, I worry about that a little bit. All right, and that's the final thought here. It was that you're looking for down-the-line wide receivers. How about our guy Holden from Oregon?
Oh, Trayshawn Holden, yeah.
And Luigi Valine. Is that what you say?
I don't know anything about Luigi.
We have a Luigi?
Yeah, he's a defensive end.
Really?
He says 2 guys who look good with 3s, wide receiver Holden, and then Luigi Valine. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Vilain.
Bellini.
I like Villain. I like Luigi Villain.
It might be, but those are 2 guys. Defensive end, and then also Holden, who people are talking about. Remember him? He got signed from Oregon. His former receivers coach, is also his new receivers coach here with the Dallas Cowboys.
I've always been more of a Mario guy myself, Brian, but I got big hopes for Luigi as well.